Guys, I just woke up. Seems like you're back for some another episode of Scale Freaky Wednesday. I know this thing was supposed to be uploaded on Wednesday, but kind of busy inside the house. And last week was a freaking disaster, bro. But like, I can't imagine it. So, in the meanwhile, go grab some snacks, popcorns, Doritos, because it's about to get freaky. So I hope you guys enjoy and guys, the first video is from Wednesday. It's from Wednesday. It says the thing in my room. Yeah. So I hope you guys like it. And hold up a sec. Let's go.
In December of 2006, I was 15 years old at the time. I had an extreme fear of the dark.
What?
While laying in bed, I would always cover my mirror, or I'd face the opposite side of the room that my mirror was on. I'd also make sure that I didn't stare
Guys,
at any dark.
guys, hold up. Hold up, guys. Hold up. Now I just wanted to reduce to increase my
Of my
brightness.
room, along with my closet, which was very dark space that I couldn't help but face because it was on the opposite side of the room from my mirror. The next thing was that if I look in the mirror from my bed,
Bro.
I could see my closet. So one night, for some reason, I decided that I wanted to get over my fear of the dark. When I went to bed, I didn't cover up my mirror.
Bro,
Didn't
what?
put my head under the covers, nor did I face the opposite side of the room from my mirror. I laid down, turned my lamp off, and stared at my mirror. Then I guess I fell asleep. When I woke up, I was looking at my door.
Bro.
Then I panned my eyes over to my mirror. And to my surprise, there was someone standing in the dark
Oh, what the
that I
freak?
saw in the mirror. I fumbled to turn on my lamp, and I looked at my closet, but no one was there. I told my parents what happened. For some reason, they said it was
Bro,
my
they won't
imagination.
believe you, dude.
My 15-year-old imagination, I guess. I told them that I wasn't 3 years old and I know what I saw. A week later, I got up in the middle of the night to use the bathroom, and I looked in the mirror, surprisingly seeing the same dark figure in my mirror,
Oh my
but
gosh.
it was closer to my bed, a lot closer. I ran screaming out of my room and told my parents again. I told them that there's no way that I
Bro,
was sleeping
believe
in my
your
room again.
kid. Come on.
So my father said he was sleeping there, starting the next night, in which I pleaded for him not to do it. Of course, he didn't listen and went anyway. The first
Bro.
few nights, there was nothing happening. My father didn't understand what scared me, but insisted that I never go in the room again. I go in there and grab anything that I needed. One night, my parents were placing more gifts under our Christmas tree, while joking about the so-called monster in my room, as my father says. This whole time while he slept in my room, I slept in his with my mother, but I was on the floor.
Bro.
We all watched the movie and went to bed like usual. But my mother and I watched the Grinch movie, and that's when I guess I dozed off.
What the freak?
My mother and I were startled hearing my father scream like that. We both ran into my room. My father was grabbing his left arm in the left side of his chest area. At the same time, he was pointing at the mirror with a startled look. My mother screamed for me to call 911, in which I ran to another room to call. When I came back, my mother was crying uncontrollably and my father wasn't moving anymore. His eyes were wide open, in the direction of the mirror, just stuck on it. My father passed away from a massive heart
Dang.
attack. After that night, my uncles and grandparents helped us move out because we didn't want to stay there anymore. My grandfather found a journal on the nightstand next to my bed. I never put it there. My mother looked at it and said it was my father's handwriting. What we didn't know was that my father kept a log for every night that he slept in my room. He mentioned that he saw someone in the mirror, and every night he would get closer to the point that
Bro.
the dark figure was standing over the bed. He just didn't tell anyone because he didn't want to scare us. I really don't know what to think, honestly. Is this my fault that he's dead? I know our Christmas that year is not joyful as we wanted it to be.
Vincent, bro, your animation is good, dude. For today is from a horror short party. It's called 7-Eleven Night Shift. So let's go. Yeah.
This is one of the most terrifying encounters that I've ever experienced. I still get nightmares just thinking about it. As a matter of fact, the nightmares reoccur so
Bro,
frequently that I see them more often than I see
bro, is your neck okay? It looks so good.
my relatives who live down the street from me. The dreams took place in what looked like a forbidden realm of darkness, almost like I was in an underground world where the sky was red and my surroundings were engulfed in flames.
Freak.
Where the hell am I? Is anyone out there? That's when I see a woman casually approach my direction, except she's spider walking backwards like a scene out of The Exorcist. Her face was distinct. I recognized her in all my other reoccurring nightmares.
I need help. Please help me.
How can I help you?
Help me.
What the hell?
I need help. Help me. Help me. Help me. I need help. Why are you just standing there? Help me.
It's just a dream. Just a dream. Everything's gonna be okay. It's been about several months since I had these reoccurring nightmares. I realized there was always one common denominator. That woman. Her distinct facial features and horrendous screams for help was always something I couldn't forget, nor ignore, as I knew I would inevitably see her again in my sleep. I coincidentally began experiencing these nightmares when I started working my new job as a cashier clerk at a 7-Eleven gas station. I attributed the nightmares to the lack of sleep I accumulated while working there. I unfortunately worked night shifts at the time, as I couldn't really find a job within my field of study. As much as I didn't enjoy working the graveyard shift, we usually didn't garner as many customers as the day shift would. Maybe just the occasional night owls or creeps that would stop by.
Bro.
Hey kid, can I have $10? Sir, I'm afraid I can't give you that. Kid, I need the money so I can get some of that good. I'll share some with you, okay? Sir, if you aren't going to buy anything, then I'm gonna have to ask you to leave. You smell the leftover Popeyes that I ate from the dumpster yesterday.
Freak.
Meeting sus customers always left me feeling uneasy for the latter part of my time working there, but for the most part, the shift was pretty chill. I would always procrastinate by watching my favorite YouTube videos to help pass the time. The 7-Eleven was located in a secluded area near a freeway where most travelers going on a road trip would make a pit stop at. So the majority of our customers were either from out of town or just local residents trying to fill up their gas tank. Maybe get a hot cup of coffee on the side. I remember this one particular shift. A vehicle pulled in and parked at one of the gas pumps. I decided to sip on my coffee and hopefully become more attentive for my drowsy state, just in case the customer needed my help. As I was putting my cup of coffee down, I noticed the customer was standing right in front of me without a trace of a sound made.
Bro.
$30 regular for pump 3, please.
I honestly thought I was seeing things, as the woman looked so familiar to the point where I completely disregarded her question. I'm sorry, do I know you from somewhere?
No, not that I know of.
I feel like I know you from somewhere. You look really familiar.
Sorry. I think you might have the wrong girl, sir.
But I think we met each other from somewhere. I just know it. Are you sure we didn't go to school together?
No,
What?
we didn't. I really have to get to work now.
Oh, I'm sorry, ma'am. It's been a long night. $30 for pump 3 it is. The woman then slid $30 towards me and began walking towards her vehicle. That's when I put 2 and 2 together. I recognized the woman as she looked like a potential culprit for the sadistic nightmares I've been having.
Whoa.
As the woman began pumping gas outside, I could see she was making direct eye contact with me. Probably because my brief interrogation made her feel a little uncomfortable. I decided to lock eyes with her as I wanted to observe more of the woman's mannerisms.
Bro, bad
in
idea,
hopes that
dude.
I could potentially pick up any significant ties to her physical appearance in relation to my reoccurring nightmare. Her face, her eyes, that has to be her. I just know it. The woman eventually got inside her vehicle and drove off as I stood there completely flabbergasted till my shift was over. The next evening, I recall getting ready for another shift as I personally like taking hot showers beforehand. I remember taking the late night bus to work while casually glancing at the window, pondering if I was ever going to encounter that woman again. The ride to work took approximately 30 minutes, so taking a power nap was completely justifiable. I would always find myself seated at the back of the bus as I personally liked napping without having the awkward feeling of being watched. I remember closing my eyes and slowly lulling myself into a deep sleep, hoping to make up for all the tireless mileage of work I had been through during that week. As I began to slowly drift off, I recall
What?
opening my eyes and still being inside the bus, except everything was in an alternate red world.
Bro.
I can see all the passengers looking at me, except they all looked expired, like they'd been rotting on the bus for months. Hey, bus driver, can you stop the bus?
This bus doesn't make any stops.
Oh.
This is just a one-way detour, kid.
Bus driver, I need to get off now! That's when I saw her again, sitting near the front of the bus, glancing at me while repeating the words.
Help me! Help me! Help me!
Oh.
Sir, I'm going to respectfully ask you to exit the bus, please. As I departed the bus, I remember walking an extra 10 minutes to work as the bus driver abruptly dropped me off due to my impromptu disturbance. I eventually made my way inside the 7-Eleven and began my shift, making my usual cup of coffee. That's when I see a familiar vehicle pull into one of the gas pumps and put itself in park. Oh my god, that's gotta be her again. The same exact woman that I encountered the last time got out of her vehicle and began entering the gas station. I began to stroll on my cell phone without making it seem like I was intrigued by her appearance while she casually approached the front counter and said,
$30 regular for pump 3, please.
Ma'am, do I know you?
No. Didn't you ask me that last time?
Yeah, but I'm sorry. It's just, I feel like I've seen you in my dreams before.
Sorry, kid, but I'm unfortunately taken.
No, I wasn't trying to get at your... My apologies, ma'am. $30 for pump 3 it is. The woman then leaves the cash on the counter and begins to head outside to pump gas into her vehicle. As I nosily glance at the woman, I see the same homeless creep from the other night approach her. He honestly looked like he was on something from the way his eyes were bloodshot and twitchy. I assumed he was going to harass her for change like how he does with most of the customers that come by during these hours. But what happened next, I never saw coming. The man yanked the gas pump from out of the woman's vehicle and sprayed her with gasoline while she yelled out in agony from the toxic fluid seeping into her skin and eyeballs. I quickly called for law enforcement while running towards the aid of the woman. But I stopped dead in my tracks as the homeless man lit the woman on fire.
I need help! I need help! Why are you just standing there? Help me!
Whoa.
Help me!
Cut it. Third one for today is from Lama Art. It says true camping story. It's a horror. So let's begin.
So me and a couple of my buddies went camping last summer alongside the Willamette River. We actually had a decent hike into the deep end of woods. We did some night fishing, listening to music, and basically drank to the point where everything was funny later in the night. I would guess we finally called it a night somewhere past 2 a.m. I shared a tent with one of my buds, while the other two shared another tent. We heard them laughing about something. At first we laughed at the sound of their laughing, but it soon got annoying and we yelled for them to shut up. One of them responded, "It isn't us." I sat up, startled at the response. I came
Oh,
to realize that it was the sound of only one person laughing, and it didn't sound like either one of my friends. Even in my drunk state, I realized how odd it was for somebody to be out this far in the woods so late at night.
freak,
The laughing gradually
bro.
got closer and louder to our campout. My friend shot up and looked at me with a worried look on his face. I heard my other friends scream over to us that they were getting freaked out. As the laughing got even closer, I could make it out very clearly to be the laugh of a male, probably in his 30s or 40s. He sounded like he was as drunk as us, messing around with friends, but we only heard his laugh, nobody else. There was
Bro,
something indescribably creepy about his laugh, too, as if it was missing something to it. You had to be there to understand what I mean. The laughing was now just at the edge of our campsite, but we couldn't hear any footsteps at all. Now that may not seem like a big deal. It was impossible to move through that without making noise. And finally, all of a sudden, the laughing stopped completely. We had no idea where whoever that was standing, as he hadn't made a single stepping sound. We sat there in silence looking at each other. My friend was clearly freaking out, but he was keeping it together the best he could. Finally, something broke the silence. The sound of something rubbing against the cottony fabric of the tent. We saw the outline of a hand
oh,
through the moonlight, pressing on the tent. We both screamed at the top of our lungs before getting out of the tent. We ran as fast as we could through the woods, our other friends following us. After about 5 minutes of running, we somehow found our car. I actually puked from running so much before taking the wheel. I don't condone drinking and driving, but I still believe we were just in this situation. By far the most horrific experience of my life. No idea who or what the hell that was, or what they wanted.
guys, the fifth one for today is from Lama Art. It's called Scary Ouija Board Stories, horror stories, Scary Ouija Board. So, it's always the movie, you know, guys. So, let's go.
Ever since I can remember, we've always had one of those old vintage Parker Brother Ouija boards sitting in our closet collecting dust. When I was a kid, I always wondered what it was.
Bro,
From the box, it seemed like a horrible board game, until one day I found out what a Ouija board really is, and immediately dug it out of the closet. I insisted on my brother trying it out with me, and eventually got him to
hold
play
up,
along.
hold up, hold up. I'm back. So,
We put our hands on the planchette, and I began asking the typical cliche questions like, "Is there anybody there?" and "Can you answer me?" Other than my brother jokingly moving the planchette around to imitate an answer from some kind of entity, there was no real response. After getting
bro,
bored, we put the game back in the box. I did a little research that night to find out how to make Ouija boards work. Many people said online that the most ideal environment when using a Ouija board is in a dark room only lit by candles. So when my parents weren't home, I managed to gather like 6 or 7 candles and convinced my brother to try it one more time. I lit the candles and set them around the table in the dining room with all the lights out.
don't, bro, come on,
We
dude.
tried one more time. I asked again if there was anybody there. The planchette began to move. I told my brother to stop moving it, but he swore he wasn't. I told him to move his hand away, and he did. It kept moving. My brother thought I was messing with him, but I didn't pay attention. The planchette landed on the word yes.
Bro,
I was only 9, so I was legitimately shitting myself. My older brother had to take over. He asked the
Freak.
question, "Are you a good spirit?" There was a 5-second pause before my brother's hand moved along with the planchette to the word, "No." We both looked at each other, and at this point I ran to my room and shut the door behind me, but he continued on with the so-called game. I heard his muffled voice come from down in the dining room, when all of a sudden I heard him screaming at the top of his lungs.
Bro.
I ran back downstairs to see what was wrong. He was holding up his shirt, revealing a small open wound that almost looked like a claw mark.
Bro.
He told me to set the fireplace immediately, and I obeyed. He threw the thing in the fireplace and told me to never speak of what happened to anybody. We have never used a Ouija board since.
Guys, don't try it. It's so dangerous, guys. Last one for today is the last one for today is from Bentington. It says, "Hello, Martin." Let's go. What the freak? Bro, stop that. Bro. Oh! Bro. Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to kick back the like button. And I know you guys been wondering why no gameplay, why only Scary Freaky Wednesday, but guys, very soon, very soon. I still play gameplay, but very soon. So hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe for more videos, and until we meet again.